So, guys, welcome back in another episode, Sunday with Rob. And today is one of those days that we truly recording on Sunday, not like most of the time. And I think so. I found someone really cool that we can learn from, and we can find out a lot of cool stories. Can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Caleb Creighton. Um, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, connecting with me.
You're breaking up.
There's a big, yeah, there's a big lag with you too. That's what I was about to tell you.
Okay. You think you can switch via wireless? Is this you or it's me?
Um, I don't know. Let me check something real quick. Uh, um, I don't know. I think it might be. I have nothing else running and on Mac. Go ahead and say something.
So, like I was saying, if you can introduce
What's
yourself.
this? Oh yeah. Um, Something's uploading here. I don't know if it is. Yeah, anyhow. So name's Caleb Creighton. I don't know how much you want me to go into detail or whatnot
Whatever you want. And like I
about
said,
me.
it's an open platform.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
You can say whatever you want. You can
So
keep enough
former,
information for yourself. That's fine.
form, former Green Beret, husband, father, Christian. Um, yeah, just a dude trying to make it in this world.
Right. So tell me, what's the deal with you starting the whole social media? Because, we can see a lot of people these days doing crazy stuff on social media, showing their lives and stuff like that. So what's the deal with you?
So the social media thing, I just now got into that game. I didn't have any social media for most of my time in the teams. Um, I did it because I did some of these podcasts and uh I don't like to. I've been pretty much quiet book, closed book. Try to be quiet professional. But through some of these podcasts, I've had several people reach out that were going through some stuff that I didn't realize I knew them. I didn't realize they were going through some similar stuff or difficult times. And because I had opened up and talked about it, someone like being on this platform, it was able to help them, and I was able to get connected with them and point them in the right direction, get some resources to get them out of these dark times. Um, so really that opened the door to, okay, maybe you do have a story to tell to help others. And a good buddy of mine, I'm sure you know him, like Two Lamb or Ronan, the guy on cover Call of Duty, that guy. Uh, we were sitting there talking and I feel awkward doing social media. And he was like, dude, you could be a quiet professional. That's the way we're trained and what we talk about, when you're in special operations, being a quiet professional, or you can be a silent professional and you can help nobody. So which one are you going to be? There's a vast difference. Um, and we kind of take it too far. I think it's sometimes where we claim this quiet professional, like we don't want to talk about what we did or whatnot, or our life, things we're going through, when there's a lot of value there and you can help others doing it. Um, so that's really what jumped into this social media thing and sparked this content creation, talking about my story, opening it up some more.
Right, right, right. So, like I'm always saying, our podcast is completely open platform for everyone. What we're trying to do and bring people, the real people, not the fake influencers, with the real story, and
Yeah.
maybe we can help other people when they go into some, uh, really dark time, and that's especially when we as a man, like I told you before, um, we don't really have too much support from the world in general. We kind of on our own, and there is not really many sources that can help us out when we go into hard time. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I think there's this weird thing we do where we put up these walls and think that we're isolated and that we have to go through this alone, or you're weak, or I don't know. We do this as males, as men, and we think we're failing. Um, I'm not sure why we do it, but yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like I told you before, I kind of went to the uh extremely dark place, and I'm pretty sure you being in military, probably you've been surrounded by the guys who went through really tough times, especially when they're coming back from deployment. Is that true?
Hmm. Yeah. Um, it's different when you're in, and we forget about that. That's the thing when we transition out. I think it's a common theme when you transition out, especially when you're like special operations. You lose your identity, you lose everything you knew. They built this Ferrari, and now you're supposed to be a minivan and go get groceries and be owned by four, and also take out trash. Like there's you lose everything you've built yourself up to be. You're used to going on deployments, this high octane type of lifestyle. And guys, at least in that lifestyle, when you're going through really difficult stuff, you're not alone. Like a lot of us go through it, and we have our teammates, our buddies, our men and women to the left and right that we're able to process that with. And the way to process and get through some of these tough times is we in the military, we use the ones around us, our closest. They become our family. It's
Right. So
when we
it's
get
kind of like a
out
brotherhood.
of that
Yeah.
environment. Yes, it's a brotherhood, men or women, whoever's on our team, whatever it may be. It's when we get out is when I myself also experienced it, that isolation where we're trained to like never go anywhere alone. We have this buddy system, your swim buddy, whatever you want to call it, your battle buddy. But then when we get out, we forget about those rules of life. And we're like, no, we got to do everything alone. Like, this is how we're supposed to do it, right? Like, even though we've never lived that way up to this point, we think this is a new set of rules. That way we forgot really quickly. And everyone does it too. It doesn't make much sense. And you isolate yourself, me included. I got out and I was isolating myself. I was in a really dark spot. Like, literally, yeah, we were making money, building homes, starting my own company. I was the most lost and mentally struggling, struggling the most mentally than I ever had been. I had no purpose, no nothing that was defining me. Like up until I got shot that morning, I'll send you a copy of the email. I reached out to U.S. Marshal Service looking for the recruiter trying to get back in the fight. I didn't reach out. I hadn't talked to my buddies in 6 months. I had been like isolating myself. Like it was the exact opposite of everything I knew to do and how I got through all the other tough times. For some reason, I felt that, you don't even think about it, like, oh, no, I deal with this myself. I don't know why we do it. This macho bravado idea that's in our head, and that's how we're supposed to handle as men. When really, in the toughest times, we're taught not to do that.
Right. Right. Would you
Kind
also
of
agree
odd.
that this kind of social media, uh, like I'm extremely against all of those fake influencers and their idea of the lonely wolf bullshit. It's extremely triggering topic for me when I going on social media and you hear all of those guys who got the platform, 300,000 people, 2 million people forward, and they constantly talking about grinding 80 hours a week. You have to be on your own. Nobody's coming to help you. All of that. I think it's a huge bullshit.
So I think there is. Can you give me an example of? Give me an example of one or two of them. I know they'll probably pop right to my top of my head. Who do you mean? Like who's some accounts or something? Excuse me, I may not know him at all because I'm not a big social media guy, to be honest with you. Full disclosure.
Right, right. I'm just trying to run away from social media too, but it looks like it's kind of inevitable tool that I have to use to grow the company in general. So it's kind of
No, no, nothing about this and on social media. That's a tool. It's a tool, a resource to get where you need to go and help others. Like it is. And I never viewed it as that. This is new for me. Social media, I've had to flip my way of thinking about it. It's not this like handicap or this bad thing. It's like, no, it's a tool or resource to use to get to your audience and get what you need to get done. It's a method of connection. I was more asking about like some examples of who they are. Because when they talk about, sometimes they talk about nobody's coming to save you. I've heard that. I was trying to put it in context because sometimes to me that seems one way I can see how that's really bad, but sometimes they add in the context of, hey, you need to grab yourself by your boots and you need to, you need to make the action happen, putting yourself out there. You need to go seek help. You like, nobody's going to come find you in your darkest hour. You got to be like, hey, I need help. That's the only reason I was asking for like a context or some example.
Yeah,
Because
so
some of these guys I see putting bullshit out, I'm like, that's bullshit, dude. Like, stop talking.
right, and then there's many of them, and like I said, all of those guys who claim you have to be lonely wolf, nobody's coming to help you, you have to grind for certain hours, all of that. You're not supposed to ask for help. It's kind of stupid because you giving the false guidance to the young people, in my opinion, and you're teaching them to becoming, I would say, selfish and not capable of reaching out in the times that you truly need help.
Yeah, you cut out, you broke up there a bit, but yeah, uh, I think that is kind of a misnomer, and it kind of can be construed the wrong way. I think. Uh, I don't think you do it alone. I think we build these packs and communities and teams and high octane teams, and that's what works at a high level. Nobody on a pro team that wins all the time is by himself. It takes a team. Whereas we come out here and isolate in the real world, and we isolate. Uh, Being a lone wolf, grinding 80 hours, like there's a time to grind, don't get me wrong. But there's also, what are you grinding for and who are you grinding with? Like, what's the purpose here? Are you just grinding against the same thing? Because that's called, it's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again for what? You're not getting where you're going. I bottling up and not saying something is silly. And that's, I think, a macho bravado thing that we have this idea that we're supposed to do as men. Like, yes, men are supposed to bear a heavier burden, in my opinion. You carry the weight like you do. It doesn't mean you have to carry it silently and not reach out for help when you're struggling. That's not what that means, in my opinion. You do
Right.
bear the load, in my opinion, of the family, the household. Like, you got to be there no matter what your mood is when you get out of the car. When you walk in, you need to be that husband for that wife. You need to be that father for that son. If you're tired and ran down, it doesn't matter to me. Like, you're dad. You're the husband, that doesn't mean that you're silent and you can't say something or have a group of people you can lean on. That's where you reach out. I have a men's Bible group, close group of core that I go run with and train with, and that I'm working through so many things with. That doesn't mean I'm silent and just bottling them up and eating them. That's not what that means. But there is to me, as a male, as a man and a leader, you have to carry certain things and maybe not show it at times, and bear the weight. But as far as like just eat and shut up and move on, maybe not quite the way they put it.
Yeah, right, right. You mentioned a couple minutes ago, and I'm trying not to forget and ask you about it. You said you got shot, correct?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
What was that deal about? Did it happen during deployment
Oh
or it
really?
happened when you're
Yeah.
already home?
Oh, this is wild too. Uh, yeah, get ready for this, bro. So I was home. So I have been injured on deployment. Uh, uh, I've been in hella gunfights. Never got shot though. And long story short, I'm laying in bed with my 2-year-old last year. In February, laying in bed with my 2-year-old, 10 o'clock at night. He's on my right side. Wife is on my right side. I see a weird light come across my bedroom window. It's 10 o'clock. It makes my spice fin signal. I get up. I look through the crack in the window. Don't violate any of the, typical rules you would see people violate. Open the blinds, all that stuff. There's a guy by truck trying to rob it. Vehicle on the road. I check the vehicle, see a driver, check the back seat, and long story short, confront the guy, opens up from the car, puts 12 rounds to the front of my house. I take a hit through the rear pelvis, broken pelvis, shattered iliac crest, deflects off my pelvis, hits my spine, breaks my spine, lodges in between my L3, L4 vertebrae of my spine. I get numb from the waist down. During this time, Uh, Immediately I saw the gunfire. I turned, dialed on my 2-year-old and my wife, take them off the other side of the bed. I got hit on the first couple rounds that came through. That was a God thing too. Somehow I got hit and was still able to be and go numb from the waist down and get across that bed. My training kind of took over. Pushed my wife and kid, my wife ahead of me to get my second gun in my office. And I come across the floor as they're firing rounds in my house. I come across the floor with my kid into my arm and put him underneath the office desk because I have a safe next to it. And I lay across the floor watching the landing as my wife calls 911. Um, yeah.
That's
Long
wild.
story
That's
short, ended up in a
wild.
box, emergency surgery. In emergency surgery. Um, yeah, I sold that house, moved on. They told I would never walk again. Yeah, that'd be a wild story for you too. That's a big good one. So, uh, start this road to recovery, VA system, piss poor medical, told me never run again. It's my new norm. Take some B12. You just got to accept it. Yeah, that took me to my lowest lows, my darkest hours, to where truthfully it's embarrassing to talk about, but ended up with a pistol in my lap asking God when guys like me quit. Like, uh, yeah, it was a God thing too. Ended up firing all my medical providers from the VA, the ones I got referrals to. God thing, went out of pocket. Um, Found the right PT, Dr. Trent Nessler out of the Athlete Lab. Shameless plug. He probably started the catalyst of this. Sid Gordon, Core Medical. They stepped in with peptides, hooked me up with my first Airbnb. Like they connected me with the stem cell guys. Long story short, I had nothing. I wouldn't take pain pills to recover, and that's all the VA tried to prescribe me: pain pills and antidepressants. Uh, and
Yeah.
I took my first bottle out of the hospital, and at first I was taking one to sleep 4 hours because I had massive neuropathy. So my leg, the way this bullet hit my spine, um, the nerves where the nerves innervate the spine, they go down the legs. Um, so my quad wouldn't fire. I think my quad still won't fire to this day. But where the nerves innervate, it is that area. So I went numb. I'm numb, but if anything touched it, like the lightest touch would feel like somebody pulled my skin apart. It was excruciating. I was taking one pain pill to sleep 4 hours. By the time I hit like day 5, I ate the whole bottle. I was taking two to like function. And my wife just looks at me and says, "We got to get through this." Like, she's a nurse practitioner too. She's like, but just so you know, this is how what really good guys end up like doing these crazy stories of like doing heroin on the streets. And instantly I thought, like, I know a couple guys that happened to that we didn't know that were prescribed pain pills and they lost everything. And I was like, you're right. So we're not going to do it with pain pills. So it's like, because I'm that guy. Like, I'm 110 miles an hour. The max is the max. Let's go higher. That's just, I had that fear that I would be that addictive personality. And so I told my healthcare provider I didn't want to do pain pills. She looks at me and told me, "Cool, I'll write you an antidepressant to go with them." It didn't go over well. And oh, yeah, literally, I walked out of the VA trying to pick up a topical gel and ibuprofen. And they prescribed me like 1,400 muscle relaxers, 900 pain pills, 1,200 antidepressants. That was one of 3 refills. Yeah, it was disgusting. And so
Yeah.
I started that whole, I knew I couldn't do this route. I knew the only route here was like not going to get me back to where I need to be and probably wreck my life. Um, so I went
It sounds
the like
like they went
holistic
the
route, you know,
easiest way to just, drive you out with this stuff and just let you go.
numb you up. Yeah,
Yep.
numb you up and move on until you can't do it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't work for me because everything I would say to him was, "I'm going to be back bigger, better, stronger, 100% mind, body, and spirit. I'm going to be better than I was before. I'm building back better." Like that was, and they would look at me like, "Sure you are, kid. Sure. I'm sure you are, right? Like this is a bullet in your spine. We can't even take the bullet out because it's so close to your like spinal column. So it's still there today." Um, they were like, "Sure. You don't understand. Like it's in your spine." I'm like, "I'm going to be back better." And so they kind of like disregarded that. And I knew it wasn't, I was going to have to do something different. Didn't mean it was going to be the easy way, but it was the best way, to be honest, for my kid and my wife.
Right.
Yeah. So that probably took me to my lowest lows. Like that's when you hit like rock bottom, when you don't know if you're gonna be a dad or how you're gonna be able to do some of the things as a father, as a husband. Because like I couldn't pick up anything. Like I couldn't pick up anything. We're in an Airbnb because we can't live in our house. It just got shot up. Uh, like I can't pick up anything. My wife is struggling to hold our family together. Like I'm on pain pills and not on pain pills and massive neuropathy pain. Can't do anything. I can't even barely walk. I got a brace to put on my back. I couldn't even tie my shoes. I had to go buy slip-on shoes so my wife wouldn't have to be there to put on my shoes for me. Like that's how I just, you just feel like you're a useless human. Like going from a father who's very active and like go, go, go to, hey, we need to go to the shoe store so I can at least put on shoes when you're not here because I can't bend over. Like that's a stark change. That really puts you, all the things you can't do with your son. Am I going to be able to teach him to throw a ball? Am I going to be able to do this? Even though I'm telling myself I am. All these people with all these degrees on their wall are telling me, yeah, good luck, son. Like all of them are telling me this. Eventually, it just starts wearing you down because you've never heard, like, yeah, you're coming back. You keep telling them you're coming back, but they're looking at you quizzically, like, I don't think you realize. And I knew it was bad when, like, the muscle just started dying on my leg. Like, literally, just there's no electricity in it. So you have a quad and it just has no tension anymore. It just falls down. It's like, I knew it was going to be bad. But they were all wrong and I was right. And so they can kiss my ass, every one of them.
I like it. I fucking like
uh,
it. We like to prove them wrong every single time when they
yeah,
tell me like the fucking stupid diagnosis. Like you're not gonna be able to do this, you're not gonna be able to do that. That's what me. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
beautiful thing. So
yeah. And so what
how
do
how
I was
much
trying to get
back
to
you are? What,
I was trying to get over,
90%?
yeah, I'm saying I'm 90. I'm not all the way back. So even my quad may not fire, but I'm back better in other areas than I wasn't before I ever got shot. I'm back in areas that I'm working and developing areas I never like my relationship, my faith, spirituality, my family. Um, it's been a wild ride. We could probably spend hours talking about this ride. I've been down to Mexico for Ibogaine, sat with medicine, psychedelics. I'm training for a 50K in December. I just did a 9 miler yesterday, a 3 miler today. I ran a 7:22 mile. Like, so in some sense, I'm back what people would call better. Back to me, I'm not back where I want to be yet. But it's kind of refocused my life and shifted priorities to what needs to be shifted. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Don't take that as a sympathy story or a sad story. It was the best story to ever happen to me. Um, yeah, there was the hardship, and there still is the hardship. There's still stuff to deal with. It was what I needed. It was a wake up call from God. To be honest with you, I don't know how you are spiritual, but I am. I'm still working on it. I'm still early on this journey, but I was in a bad spot and I needed, and that literally, I got shot 12 hours after sending an email to U.S. Marshal Service asking if they were hired. No lie. 12 hours later, I'm in an ambulance. 10:30 in the morning, I sent that email. 10:30 at night, I'm in the ambulance. Like, there's not a coincidence like that. And my family's okay. I'm the only one to get hit. It couldn't have worked out better, like, truthfully.
Right. Right. We always taking care of the other one first, and in your situation, it looks like you did a great job, and there was no more damage to any member of
Yeah.
your family. So that's
Uh,
great.
yeah, we had both holes on mattress and stuff. Yeah, where my 2-year-old was laying and my wife, so it could have been, hands down, could have been extremely worse. Um, and it's taken us, I mean, it's the best thing that happened to me, to be honest with you. I've been able to do things I wouldn't have done. And I've also reprioritized things I wasn't prioritizing, like you were talking about earlier. That's working 80-hour weeks, grinding, grinding. Yeah, I was doing that. I was doing that, isolating myself, 80-hour, 100-hour work weeks, sleeping 3, 4 hours a night. I was the most unbalanced, unhealthy person there was. My first thing to climb was my health, and I had seen red flags about it on the way up when I brought our kid home and we saw pictures. Uh, I'm like, man, you just look unhealthy, dude. Like you could just look at these pictures, like you look sick, and I shouldn't have. I should have looked happy and like together, but I didn't. I was with a feeble. I'd lost everything that I had kind of worked for or knew about my whole life. The first thing to go is your workouts, your physical fitness, your mental capacity. So you think that you have to do this, oh, grind more to get better, grind more to get better. I tried that and it didn't work for me anyhow.
Right. Yeah, it's so weird. Like people have no idea when you hit the rock bottom, uh, how difficult it is to come back on your own from that spot. It's literally like you don't see any light
I couldn't,
dark tunnel. It's just ridiculous.
yeah, that's the thing. I couldn't have came back on my own. To be honest with you, like I wouldn't have, uh, like, you don't got to do it alone. I was trying to do this recovery alone as well. Um, and I had people who wouldn't leave me alone. Like I would not have made it, but I had really good people around me that wouldn't leave me alone, that refused to not check on me. To literally, I got a call from a teammate said, "No, you need to go see this guy." I'm sitting in my truck with a pistol in my lap, and my phone rings. Like if this is not a God thing, I'm not here preaching or thumping on Bible or anything. I'm not like that. I'm saying there's no coincidence in this. I get a call from an old teammate that says, "No, you need to go see this guy," and it was literally Dr. Nestler at the athlete lab. And that guy was the first medical professional to look at me and say, "Okay, let's go." Like when I say the same thing to him every time, everyone I beg, I'm gonna be back better than I was before, 110%. Mind, body, and spirit, bigger, better, stronger. And he was and everyone would be like, "Yeah, okay, oh, sure, you will." He was the first one to be like, "Let's go." Like, okay, I believe you. I can tell. Yeah, you're serious. And that guy never changed his tone. Like he was like, "All right, what are we waiting on?" And to this day, that guy still is like that. And
Nice.
then, like, literally the dominoes started to fall in place. And so it was like, I couldn't have did that without them around me or my wife constantly just being like the rock, or like putting up with this. So we changed our whole life towards it. Like, not being able to lean on her, or like, some point you can't carry the rock, you know, like not putting that team around you, having these people around you that become like part of my family. Like, they know. That sometimes you ain't gotta tell them, like, "Yeah, well, I'm here. Yeah, we can talk. Yeah, I've cried to them." Like, it's like, to me, it used to be this thing, like, you never cry to them. Like, no, I have. I'm not scared to admit it. We're gonna have a fucking band. Like, I gotta hit some low lows, you know?
Yeah.
But the old me would have said, like, there was this macho bravado. You can't do that. You're some Green Beret. Like, what are you talking about? Well, that's cool. Maybe it worked for some, but works a whole lot easier when you got this tight knit group around you that you surround yourself with, that are, winners and like minded individuals that are pushing you to be better every day. Um, you get a lot better results.
Oh yeah. Uh, like I was lucky enough, and look like you are on the same boat. We have people who truly care about us, that surround us. But it's not happening too often these days. Looking at the amount of men suicide per year is just blowing my mind that we got no place or no one to call. Plus, I would agree that many times our ego is taking over, and we truly don't want to. We don't want to bother anyone. We don't want to reach out to anyone. We don't want to put the baggage on their back, knowing that they're going through something too, and we would be the burden. So I think so. We have to change that. We have to really show guys that it's okay to ask for help.
100% you do. Uh, you're spot on. Um, People think we all think we all think we're going through this by ourselves. And like, you're gonna, like, what you're really gonna do is you're really gonna hurt that person's family, everyone around you, if you decide to do something stupid because you couldn't handle it anymore, or you don't go on anymore, or you commit suicide. Like that, now you're fucking every one of them. Now you fucked everyone around you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it becomes a real simple equation when you look at the weight of what you're dealing with, when it becomes so heavy like that. Like, that's simple math. Like, bro, pick up I bet your boy answers. Like, I bet your boy answers. And it also comes down to like now, um, after been going through this and after, exploring the world of psychedelics, it's also on us and the friends. Like, some people don't want to reach out, or there's hard. We all know it's hard to reach out because you feel this. You feel that way. It's hard to change someone's mind when they're in that bad spot. It's hard to be like, "Hey, dummy, like you're seeing this so crooked, you don't even know how wrong you're seeing it." Like I'm here. It's also on us to just like check in. Like, it doesn't take much to check in and somebody give them a lifeline, or give them, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, um, like. It doesn't, like 2 a.m. A good buddy of mine sends me, "Hey, just checking in, dude. Haven't heard from you in a while." Like, that's all he sends. It's like, cool, dude. Yeah, that means a lot to me. Like, cool, brother. You know, like someone comes to your mind. Like, it's not hard. It means more than what you think, than the effort it took for you to send the text or to pick up the phone or to take the time. Like, I'm as guilty as all of them. I did it all. I did that. Isolate, not see anyone, not take time. Oh, we should get to, my buddies reaching out. We should get to lunch, breakfast, team guys. Yeah, 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 I will. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. Really, I'm struggling. Really, I'm not too busy. I got this mountain growing over here that's not good. And I know this would be good for my soul to talk about it, but really, no, I just feel like I need to keep it bottled up. I'm just as guilty, so I'm not preaching to no choir here because I did that. It just didn't work for me, and I don't think it works for many of us. um, and it helps, and maybe that's all that guy needs to open up is a little line like, "Hey, dude, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while." You know, especially because I kind of felt we get these feelings of like, "Hey, man, I haven't heard from you in a while. It seems weird," and we don't take the time to, "Hey, check in on him. Why haven't I heard from that guy in forever?" We kind of ignore it and move on when really it's just pretty easy. Like, if you're thinking that way, there's probably a reason you haven't heard from him. And you're not dumb. He's either crushing it or he's probably going through some shit. Like, it doesn't take much, us being cognizant. Maybe we can pick up one or two just by sending a text. I don't know what you're thinking about him.
Yeah, I think so. We lost that whole brotherhood feeling. Uh, I don't know if you can call this feeling, like the brotherhood behavior. And like you said, it's so easy to check on someone, uh, even text them. But I rather hear someone's voice. And we also have to stop lying.
100%.
We have to literally stop lying with when people asking us, "How's it going?" We always doing the same fucking stupid shit. It's great. It's okay. I'm doing fine. For once, we should
It's
fucking
going
stop
good.
lying. Be like, okay, I'm not doing fine. I'm not doing good. I'm not okay. And it's okay to not be okay. And I think so.
Yeah.
Honestly, the whole social media completely destroyed um the brotherhood. I would say, like it's too much toxic content about men. It's too much toxic content about what we should do as a man, and it's putting a lot of pressure on us. Moment we already going through a lot of shit.
Yeah. I think social media destroyed a lot of what we call communication, and the way we communicate now is, you don't even talk somewhere. You send them a text. That's it. There's no communication like this is communication, face to face, or you can see someone and hear their voice. It carries a lot more weight. You're able to infer a lot more. emotion or feeling from the other person to know, like, oh, I need to ask that a little deeper, or I need to, can you explain that? You know, like, what's up, dude? You know, you got that feeling from your boy. You could tell that. And that's like one of the huge things I did is like putting this crew together to run a 50K. Like I got my buddies that run it with me. And it's cool to be able to like make sure we're running some together, you know, weekly meeting up, a men's group. Like this idea that we're this macho, like there is a time, there is a load a male must bear. Like you must carry the burden. But that doesn't mean you don't work on yourself and you're not trying to improve your, you know, your skills, your tools. You're not, there's one perfect person in this world and he died for our sins. So that means you got a lot to work on. And that means you're not so egotistical that you can't talk about it with somebody else. It's sometimes hard to talk about with your wife. And, you know, because you got this responsibility in the house. I firmly believe like you got to carry some stuff. And maybe she's having the bad day and you can't have the bad day that day too. That means you got to suck it up in that moment, you know? Doesn't mean you suck it up and bottle it up and put it away. It doesn't. Like, it makes it, okay, mine can get put back. I feel that we are there to serve our wives and children. Like, we are there put on this earth to serve them, to protect, provide. It doesn't mean we get to ignore these things that we have going on. We don't. Like, we can't, because that's a recipe for disaster. But that means you got to do the work and go find some way, some group, your circle, your brotherhood, and you got to get involved and do it. Like you got to, because guess what? You're not the only one thinking the same thing. So getting together with other men and being able to talk about it, whatever, you know, if it's not in the Bible, just do a men's group of like what's going on in life. Because I bet you the guy across the street's having similar arguments with his life that you are. You're not that different. like y'all going through some shit, or maybe he's already went through some similar shit that he's handling on his plate that's on your plate right now. Maybe he's already did something like that. Maybe he's already walked that path of life. Who knows? Like maybe he got a couple lessons to teach you. Like it's not you're not alone. That's what everyone thinks. And I get the aspect of like, man, we gotta bottle some up. Can't be like this for a while. Okay, I get that too. I get you got to carry the burden. You can't just your wife's have a bad day now. You're having a bad day. You know, no, you got to be a certain way. You got to be the up for the family. You know, gotta. I get that. Doesn't mean you lost the brotherhood or the community or the group. You got to make a new one. You got to have a pack. Your wife's part of the pack too, but sometimes she has some bad days, and you just got to suck your bad days up. like,
Yeah.
like you know, and your kid, it doesn't matter what kind of day you had. If you got a 3-year-old like I do, I walk in and it's daddy, like you're ripping and roaring. And it's like, all right, I'm not going to take my bad day in here. It's easy for him. You know, it's easy there. You're like, bad day gone. Let's go.
Right,
That's
right, right.
part of it. But that doesn't mean I can neglect the thing that I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I go work out. I got a group. We're sitting there talking while we're running, working through some stuff that we had the other day. You know, that's working through stuff. Doesn't mean I get to neglect that, because if I neglect that, I'm neglecting my family. I'm neglecting my responsibility to my family. It's like, I need to work on me too. It has to happen. Has to, you know, you can't have one without the other. Or you're not
Right.
present with your family. If you're so far lost or isolated, you're not present. My wife would tell you, like you weren't present. You know, like yeah, you were here. You were somewhere else.
Yeah. So it's basically showing that you got huge support in your wife. So that's extremely important, especially these days.
Yes. If you're gonna support
Look,
your wife, you, you need to. Yeah, yeah. And if you're gonna support your wife and your kid, then that means you gotta be the best version of yourself. You gotta be showing up at all aspects. You know what I mean? We got a responsibility. We gotta take care of our body. We take care of our mind, because they
right.
depend on you. You're supposed to be that. And maybe you can't put down your hair or complain about something that day because your wife's had a rough one. It's part of the job. But that doesn't mean you get to not fix what you had going on. That doesn't give you an out like, okay, I just bottle this up. That's not what it means.
Right, right. So
Sorry, that went on long winded. That was a
before
long
we're
tangent.
gonna finish up, like, I told you we're gonna do quick, cool podcast to make people kind of, focus. You know that the focus span these days with people is extremely short. Um, what's the plan in general for you with growing your own profile?
That look, I don't care about that. They're growing the profile. I don't care. My
Okay,
goal, I could care less. I'm gonna put out the content about me, what I believe, what I've been through, part of my story, and what I'm for. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If I help somebody, one person, why one? Truthfully,
nice.
uh, like you know, like, and there's things that I think I think I can help people and grow a following of people that I'm like, cool. Why don't we try to make a difference? You know, what you said, we're not alone, and so it's not like I'm on this limb saying some crazy stuff that we kind of don't think. It's just I hit a point where it's like I had a, like it seems silly not to because you can help somebody. And so if I don't try to help someone or put that out that could help somebody, then I'm kind of a coward just because I feel uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure your content gonna help a lot of people, relate to it, and maybe they're gonna feel better a little bit about themselves, and they're gonna figure out that they're not alone, and it's okay to, reach out to whoever you got next to you.
Right. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Man,
That's
I
the goal, man.
appreciate you a lot. Um, it's extreme honor to talk to you. I hope so we can repeat this again and do another, podcast, maybe touch a little bit different subjects about your deployment, whatever else you feel like you can talk about. And I hope so we can talk soon.
For sure, brother. It was truly an honor. I appreciate you taking time and connecting with me, man. It's been
I
cool.
appreciate you, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
You too, brother. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one, man.
Bye.